see. Getting everything set up here. Okay. Good evening. Let's see. Let me get on Facebook. Okay. Hopefully this will all work. I actually got it set up together, set it all up in advance, which is really always a good idea. Let's see if I can also be here. Okay, great. So I hope that you all are doing okay this evening, or whatever time it is for you, wherever you are. My hair is doing something crazy. Anyway, it's been such an interesting time as always. And I don't know about you all, but I was really looking forward to Mercury going into retrograde this year, actually, because I knew it was going to shift things, and it did. It really, really did. It's very interesting how that works. Sometimes everybody's afraid of Mercury retrograde, and oh my gosh, it's like going to be so bad and all these things, but it's really, sometimes it can bring about like a shift in a good way of like good energy changing. So, the first few months of this year were just really, really intense, and a lot of patterns coming up for people, a lot of just, we're packing it all in, packing in all of our past life pattern breaking. Let me fix my situation here. It looks really dark. There we go. Past life pattern breaking, and just, choosing an unconscious, subconscious level to be in these really intense situations with other people in our lives. Um, and I wrote an email today about that, of just like how to kind of move through that stuff. Um, and sometimes it's just waiting, like riding the wave, like waiting until it gets better. And that's kind of what happened, for me at least. And for a lot of people that I've heard about. But this evening, I want to do an energy clearing meditation to really, get rid of the old stuff and bring in the new, and bring in, how we want to be, how we want to feel. It's so interesting because in the work I do with clients, as many of you know, I wrote a book a few years ago, Tools for the Awakening Soul. And there was, I'd come up with this sort of thing I was doing with people, and helping them come up with how they want to feel, how they want to be their highest and best future selves, clearing away the stuck stuff. What are the beliefs and thoughts and emotions that needed to be cleared, and how do we clear them? We do some writing tools, we get into the subconscious mind, we do hypnotherapy, connect with the inner child, and can bring in higher guidance to help them, move forward and have some hope and trust, so they can develop their intuition. And of course, at the fundamental core of all that was quieting the mind and really training the brain to become aware of that negative protective ego that's trying to always keep us in our safe place, and also open the third eye in the process to really connect more with intuition and take intuitively guided action, which is really where it's at. So I keep coming back to that. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, am I going to find like a new sort of, approach that is different? Am I going to keep coming back to this, thing that I noticed was helping people? And it's kind of rinse and repeat, right? It's like, it really is. It really does seem to be what I'm guided to share, and it's nothing new, right? This is all sort of things that a lot of people talk about, a lot of, teachers out there or whatever they call themselves talk about. And it's really just, divine laws and how things work. The law of attraction is the law of resonance. What do we want to be? How do we want to feel? Really connecting with that vibration. And so much of this is about vibration, is about our vibration. And I think what I've been called to do is really kind of teach. And obviously, I have to experience it myself first, right? And so I can understand it, and teach people what most of us were never taught in school, which was how vibrations work and how, um, if we create an internal state of being for ourselves through our thoughts, through our beliefs about ourselves, and really it's our emotional state. We can't control our emotions, but we can learn to bring in new thought. Then we're creating this sort of frequency waves that we give off. And it's just a matter of time until our external reality begins to mirror our internal reality. And that's as simple as that, right? It's like, that's all we're doing. Sounds much easier than it is, right? It really, because we come with a lot of stuff into each human incarnation. We got a lot of past life trauma. We have, then that, shows up as this life trauma. And also it's things we chose, right? We chose our parents. We chose some of these hard experiences, which are repeats of past life situations, but instead we have an opportunity to make a different choice to break the pattern, right? So it's really interesting how it just keeps, it just keeps coming back because this is the way, right? This is the way. And that's what was that from? This is the way, some Star Wars show that my husband had me watch. Anyway, um, so that's really what this energy clearing, all the time is what I think about for myself. It's like, well, what's my energy like, right? Like, how am I feeling right now? And if I'm in a lower vibrational state, and sometimes that happens, right? Things happen to us. Why did this thing happen? This really crappy thing. I wrote an email about that. Like, when something crappy happens, why? Is it because I'm doing it wrong, or is it, I'm being punished or cursed? I've heard people say that, like from past lives. And I don't believe in, curses. Let me just say, I think they only work if you believe they work. If you believe in curses and you believe somebody can put a curse on you, then that could become your reality. But if you believe that your light, because that can happen. That is a thing that some people, if they're working with dark energies, can try to do, but it wouldn't affect you, it wouldn't hurt you if you have your own light, because your light will protect you. If you bring in light from, higher loving sources, angels would be really good with that. But that's not even part of my reality, right? But I've heard, sometimes people wonder, like, this really bad things are happening to me. What's going on? And instead, in my perspective, it's about past life. It's actually something that's chosen. It's past life karma, and it's about learning. And it's all about balance and understanding and self-actualization. So when we think of it that way, it can make us feel a lot better about ourselves. Why would I choose this? Why would I choose these things? Well, sometimes we choose them for reasons we're not aware of yet, and we can learn about those reasons. And one of the ways that I like to learn is going in the Akashic Records. Very powerful way to uncover reasons. I'll share with you all something. I had very challenging situation with a friend, somebody who, it was a very sad sort of conflict and essentially like a psychic attack. And I talked about this a few months ago. And when I've asked about it, because it really, really hurt me and really upset me, it was really disturbing, honestly. Um, what I've picked up on is there's a few things about myself, standing up for myself, setting boundaries, that sort of thing. Definitely past life stuff. But recently, what I picked up on is this was actually a lesson for this other person that I volunteered to help her learn. And so that's something that I haven't talked about a lot, but I'll say it to you all because I think it's important sometimes that, we may not think like, when something that really sucks, happens to us and we're in the middle of it. We're not always ready, by the way, to kind of be like, oh, what am I supposed to be learning from this? We're just in it and it's hard and we're just trying to cope. And then when we've gotten on the other side of it, when there's been time, then we are often able to kind of say like, what's going on? Why did this happen? And so there are times that I have seen this in other people's Akashic records, that it's not actually for us. I mean, they're always a learning for us, but there's probably always something, I'd say, but it could be more for the other person. that we volunteered pre-incarnation to help them. And it's a gift. It's a real gift, right? To do that for somebody, to help them learn by playing this sort of challenging, this oppositional role in their life or serving that for them. And that's what I picked up on when this situation also, and that was very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think that can really help us kind of be kinder to ourselves. And I think the trick with a lot of this is with the soul work is that we have that ego that will judge us, that will say, well, this is because you're this, or you didn't do that, or you're not this. And sometimes we can even do this thing, which I've been pointing out to class, people, few clients recently, I've just noticed it, that we can say, well, I have this thing, like I don't have good boundaries, or I'm a people pleaser, or I'm, or I have anxiety, or, I always do this thing. And so we might be aware of the thing, but what can happen is then we're giving more energy to the thing than it needs to have. And it actually can become more of a problem than it needs to be. And certainly in our culture, this is so common. My anxiety, my trauma, my depression, it becomes like a big deal that we almost feel like we can't even ever get over because we're giving it so much power over us. And so not to say it doesn't exist, but it's really important to kind of with hypnotherapy, this is the idea is to shrink it down. So we believe that, well, actually, I have a lot of light. I'm a being of light. I'm a piece of that source energy of God. And so when I tap into that light, I can transcend all these things of the lower self that's trying to kind of make it be this big deal that's holding me back. And it can become a little bit of a excuse, right? To hold ourselves back because it's easier than moving forward, because moving forward, taking risks is scary. So I think, I'm kind of giving you all like a cliff notes or my synopsis of what I've been observing a lot in the field, experiencing myself, noticing for others. But there's ways to move through it, right? And I think for me, it always helps to come up in the bird's eye perspective and be like, what might be going on at a soul level here? What does my higher self think about this? Or why am what happened maybe in a past life that is causing this in this life? I always think of things in terms of past lives and this life. And it really can help when we see the whole picture. And it's like, oh, isn't that interesting? There's this interesting human experience the soul is having. And maybe, it's not funny, right? Not funny, but it's like we're in an act in a play. And sometimes we make it be very, very serious, and it doesn't have to be. I just recently started the intuitive guide program for this year, which I'm very excited about. And we're diving into all this stuff with a wonderful group and 8 people, I think, which is wonderful. And it's always cool to kind of start a new year and get to know the people there. And we're going to be learning to read the Akashic Records and clear all our stuff to make it easier to do that and learn how to share our light and do our soul work. So I've been thinking a lot about that recently. And so along the lines of, sharing our light, let's do some energy clearing, shall we? And bringing in our highest and best self. So essentially, what we're going to do is similar to what I do in a lot of hypnotherapy scripts. We clear away the old and bring in the new. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. I'm just going to make it up, and there's going to be somebody, I'm not sure who either yet, but some divine being is going to come in and help us as they always do. So this isn't going to be like full hypnotherapy because that takes a long time. This is going to be short, but we're going to see what we can do. I might have to plug in my computer because I thought I could get away with not doing that, but like that's going to happen. So I'm going to have to. It would not be fun if this just died in the middle of you guys doing a meditation. So let me just go plug this in. So while I'm doing that, find a comfortable position for yourselves. If you're not already there, get a nice little blanket. Right back. Okay, so let's bring our energies inward and clear any remaining stuff from the past few months, especially that needs to be cleared. So you can begin to do this by closing your eyes and just begin to bring your awareness to an internal place. Just beginning to take stock of or to notice what's happening in your body in this moment. Are there any places where you've been holding tightness, holding energy that doesn't belong? Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just send some air to those places. Send some healing and release to those places. Let them soften, let them relax. Let's do that again, but this time taking a deep breath in and holding it, really gathering lots of energy in your lungs, and then slowly let it out like a bellows, like this old sort of contraption that would bring oxygen to a fire. Bring that oxygen into your body and let your body soften and melt. One last deep full breath in and hold. And then slowly and intentionally just let the air flow out of your nose and mouth. And just notice how good that feels. Just to let everything go. Taking off a heavy bag you've been carrying around all day, or maybe all week, or even month. Begin to connect in with your breath as it's moving a little slower now. Begin to feel into the energy in your body and outside of your body, and the layers of your light body. What's your energy like? What's your aura like? How does it interact with the energies around you? And maybe you can begin to invite in the loving energies that are always around you and just waiting to be invited in. There's angels, there's guides, there's ascended masters, there's ancestors, spirit animals. There's so many different forms, elementals, so many different higher forms of spirit. And you will want, I am guessing, to invite in the ones that are pure love and only love. And as we'll be asking for some assistance to clear away any stagnant energy, maybe you can look and see who is here can help you do that. Feel into that request, into your opening to who is here to help you. And I am feeling a different energy that I'm going to invite in this evening, which is this wise Hindu deity known as Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. The Hindu God, I suppose you could say, although I wouldn't maybe say it that way, but the Hindu masters often seen with an elephant nose, this wise being, this ancient being, who's here to help us clear away like a gust of wind, actually, what doesn't belong, what is no longer needed. If you like, you can bring in the energy of Ganesh as well, or you could pick another or work with another energy that is here for you. But this energy is strong, this energy is powerful. And sometimes when there's been stagnation, we need something to be shaken up, like a windstorm, a rainstorm that cleanses and clears in a very powerful way. Sometimes it's not enough to just do a gentle sweeping of the dust in our internal home, and we need a powerful, huge broom or strong vacuum to really do a deep cleaning. And so that's what we're inviting in here. Bringing in the light of protection, knowing and reminding yourself that you are safe, that this is safe for you, that your subconscious, your superconscious, your higher self knows that you've been guided here to clear away what is no longer needed or wanted or helpful in your soul, in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. So I'm being guided to guide us in some breath work. So we're going to do this with some breath work. So breathing in, take a nice deep inhale now. Breathe in deeply. And you're going to do a forceful exhale. So before you exhale, just hold and then force it out. And you're going to do that a few more times. Breathing in deeply, forcefully exhaling out through your mouth, breathing in through your nose. Hold, exhale out, forcefully exhale out. We'll do this 3 more times, breathing in deeply. Hold, exhale, breathing in again. Hold, exhale. One last time, breathing in deeply. Hold for a few long seconds. Forceful exhale. All be released. So deep breaths in. Just deep, slow, measured inhales and exhales. Just notice how your breath is flowing so much more cleanly and thoroughly through your body. You may even want to do an audible sort of breath. In yoga, this is kind of known as Darth Vader breath. If it feels right to you, could just settle into a natural breathing. This is a very cleansing, opening few breaths that we've taken here. Just take a moment and notice your energy. Breathe into your heart. With every breath in, begin to open your heart to light. There's more space now for light to flow into your heart. Allow that to happen. Allow the light to fill up your heart and fill up your body. There's a beautiful energy, this beautiful Hindu deity, goddess Lakshmi, that is coming in, bringing just light and healing and gentleness. Just continue feeling your heart opening and expanding. And as you do this, you may begin to imagine that you yourself are sort of being rebirthed, as if out of a lotus flower in your heart. Imagining this beautiful white flower is unfurling its petals, and out of it is this tiny little you. You're awakening just like the bears are coming out of hibernation, at least here in the spring, here in the northern hemisphere. Imagining that you're coming out of hibernation. You can even physically take your arms as if you're just stretching and opening and awakening, and just even looking up to the sky, outstretching your arms if that feels right. And just coming back and bringing your hands in prayer position down through the center line of your body and into your heart, just as if you were doing morning yoga. Your heart, your hands are in prayer position in your heart center, and this is activating gratitude, activating your inner light. Bringing your hands in prayer position to your third eye and center of your forehead, just giving thanks in this way. Bowing your head in reverence. And you can bring your hands back down and just feeling this energy of awakening moving through your body, moving through your very essence. Maybe as if it's just like you were waking up and starting out a brand new, fresh day. See yourself just walking into your future, into a day in the life where you're skipping or maybe strolling along. The birds are chirping, you're smiling, you're just looking at the sun, looking at the world around you, smiling. There's a lightness in your step, there's joy, there's just an excitement for the day, for all that it means to be human. And take a moment to move further on this future timeline of a day in your life. See what happens. Where do you go? Who do you meet? It's like following a yellow brick road. Follow the light through your heart. Follow yourself here just for a moment and observe what happens. What is your face looking like? What does it feel like? What's happening? What do you experience? Who's around you? Where are you? What are you doing? All five senses. Just settle in if the images have faded. or if and when they fade, just settle into this feeling in your heart, really anchoring it into your heart, absorbing it deeply. This is you. This is me. This is who I am. So I'm repeating that. Sure, we could all stay here for a very long time, just soaking up this vibration. And if you like, you're welcome to do that. Just stay here. And we're going to close this meditation for some. Maybe just set this intention that this future you vibration is now sealed into your heart. You can even put your hands over your heart, cross your hands, just seal it in there. Remembering it, making this be your new vibration. Waking up tomorrow, and this is you. Let's take a moment to just come into gratitude with hands in prayer position, your heart center, leaving them over your heart folded or just in your lap, but just let's give thanks. We honor the beautiful divine beings who've been with us here today, Ganesha, Lakshmi, our own higher selves, angels, guides, all connected to the source of all, to God, ancestors, any other wise ones, the masters of the Akashic Records. We give thanks for this healing, for this release, for this integration and vibrational attunement that we have received. May this come to pass for our highest good and for the highest good of others and for the planet. And for this, we give deep thanks and gratitude. And it be so. And so it is. Deep inhale and exhale. Begin to come back into your body, stretching out. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hope that was helpful in some way. It's very interested and curious that Ganesh came in, and I have a feeling why. I have been going to hot yoga every week. My daughter goes to a dance class, and I take her on Tuesday evenings, and I just was sitting around waiting all the time, and I realized there's a yoga studio. My friend teaches that. I'm going to go to yoga again, which I used to go a lot in my 20s, and I just got, busy life. But I started going, and I just went last night. So it's, yoga was really my introduction to spirituality, the deeper sort of spirituality. Of course, the introduction might have been Christianity, the church I grew up in, but wasn't really doing it for me. So yoga was the new gateway, and taught me a lot. And then, Buddhist meditation learned about, but as you all may know, yoga is really just preparing the body for meditation. And in the Western world, it's been really popularized, and that's great. And actually, the yoga I go to is one of those. It's like really hot, intense, like exercise. It's hard, but it brings me to a just intense state of focus and mindfulness, because you really have to focus on your breath and be very present in your body, because it's hot, you're tired, and you're doing all these balancing things. It's like a vinyasa flow. So I like it, it's a challenge for me. But anyway, so I don't work a lot with Ganesh or with Lakshmi in terms of, my daily life, but they just came in, and Ganesh is a very powerful, strong energy clearing. It's similar to Archangel Michael, but it's so interesting with the breath work, right? Like it was powerful for me, and hopefully powerful for you. And you can do that, anytime you want. It's really helpful to do these deep sort of cleansing breaths. And sometimes the intense, forceful breath really is a powerful way to just release stuck energy. So I hope that, was helpful, and you were able to kind of go into your heart and out into your own Akashic records, to connect with your future self, and the vibration of that future self. Feeling that in the heart is very powerful. The heart is the most powerful electromagnetic center in the body. It's like a generator, like our battery. And so it's really the seat of intuition. Speaking of, I am doing a retreat in Maine in May 2nd to 4th, something like that, at Limina Renewal Center, this beautiful, gorgeous place on the water and the ocean. And we're going to be diving into all of that, sort of working with spirit guides, opening our intuition, connecting with ascended masters and angels. We'll be doing some qigong with the guest Dean Anderson, wonderful guy, and some sound healing with Jim Doble, who is also a wonderful guy and usually brings like a team. We have this giant gong bath with all these sound gongs and singing, like giant singing bowls and didgeridoos, and it's just amazing. So if you want to join us, still a few spots. Almost all the private rooms are gone, but there's still a shared room and one private room, and there's still some daytime spots, which is like all morning, all evening, all night, 3 amazing meals, all that stuff. So check it out if you're interested. It's really, really, I love these retreats, this place, and the intuition retreats are very powerful ways to kind of activate. Otherwise, if you want any support, you know where to find me for the Akashic Records, for hypnotherapy, to clear stuff in a deep way. Always here to help. So thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful evening. I'm glad it was helpful. Take care. Bye.